21.
We all did good.
Okay. This is a meeting, open meeting conducted in person and by video conference. Citizens, city staff, and city council are encouraged to participate in the meeting by video conference in order to allow the city to follow the CDC social distancing guidelines in an effort to slow the spread of the coronavirus, otherwise known as COVID-19 pandemic. Please, you can find details down at the bottom of our agenda. And pursuant to Section 551 of the Texas Government Code, notice is hereby given of a regular meeting of the Red Oak Park and Recreation Commission being held on Tuesday, September 21st, 2021 at 7 p.m. in the Ronald Reagan Room of the Red Oak Municipal Center, 200 Lakeview Parkway, Red Oak, Texas, and by video conference as authorized by Section 551.127 of the Texas Government Code. At which time we will follow the agenda that was posted. Let it be known, Cindy's here, Estelle is not here tonight. Joanne is present, Chandria is not, Maria is present, Kyle Kelly, Olivia Coleman. No? I'll have to say you're there. I do call the meeting to order. I do declare a quorum is present. Notices have been legally posted pursuant to the Open Meetings Act. Time of the start of our meeting is 7:20. We'll do an invitation and pledge of allegiance. I have one in my car.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please bow your heads. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we ask that you take control of the meeting, guide our thoughts, help make our decisions in the best interest of the citizens, all citizens of Red Oak. We ask that you guide and direct each and every one of us. Please be with all of our city, state, national leaders everywhere. Please bring peace. We ask this in your precious name. Amen. Okay. Thank you. Presentations? None. Citizens to be heard. We'll take any comments, questions.
Nobody online.
Nobody online?
Nobody emailed anything in either.
Okay. Thank you. Moving right along. Number 5, new business open session. Consideration of the following park and recreation. Discuss and make decisions for the fall festival.
Can we confirm the date and location?
I'm going to say 95% sure that we will probably be holding it out at TFTC, since they have all that land. We can't hold it here because there's an event. Can't hold it at Watkins Park because there's a huge tournament going on down at the Red Oak baseball softball field.
And football games.
And there's TV football games. So, we were looking at a place, we could go to the Oaks Fellowship, if you guys want to do that. We can have it at TSTC, as long as, you know, COVID's still, you know, staying down and everything.
Inside or outside, like we did that year?
It'll be outside with the food vendors and inflatables and all that stuff. TSTC's just offering the parking and lot and the parking and,
So they're not gonna do the decorate the inside, have all the games and stuff like they did that year?
probably not. I guess we'll have, now, and that's a thought, I mean, that's something that we could think of if the Oaks still wants, does Oaks Fellowship still want to participate?
They will participate in the event. They have an event at their church that day already,
Oh, they do?
so that's the trash off.
Oh.
There will be dumpsters and everything else over there, so, I mean, we can ask them if that's what you want, or proceed, and I prefer that we stay outside because of the COVID,
Yeah.
and that way we minimize contact with people.
That's true. True. But right now, I can't tell you that we can make a firm commitment to do TFTC, if that's where you wanna have it, but. And we talked about moving it to the 30th. That Saturday, the 30th, before Halloween being the 31st, rather than right there at the beginning,
Yeah, and the Lions have a conflict with that,
with the 30th.
with the 30th. They would not be able to participate if it is on the 30th. Which they also made a pretty good point that most churches are having fall festivals or gatherings that day on the 30th as well. So we would probably have better attendance if we did target the 23rd.
Thoughts, ideas?
STC.
I like the TSCC, they're okay with the 23rd, I like the 23rd also.
Okay. But since we've already voted on the 23rd, we don't have to do a vote again.
No, just wanted to confirm that
And it's,
we were able to get started early to make sure that we were still on target with that.
yeah, as soon, yes, and as soon as, you know, we can, I mean, I know the people who run the inflatables and all that kind of stuff, I know they know, I mean, due to COVID and stuff. So, and I do know that, our provost is talking to Mr. Froh to unlock the gate, which would allow more parking and be able to come in off of 342, Lawrence, Red Oak Road, you know, Highway 342, what did I say, 342, Louise Ritter onto Lawrence, or Red Oak Road onto Lawrence. So, that way it'll open up more parking.
Okay.
But Froh hasn't got back with him yet, so that's still in works.
Okay. Now, as far as the food vendors, what do you want to charge them for their participation?
What do we normally charge them, is it 50?
Well, we thought about last time possibility of taking either food or candy as in lieu of the cash.
We did both. They had to bring 2 bags of candy,
Okay.
2 large bags. And that goes to us. And then they had to bring whatever the donations were.
Have we checked with,
I sent him, email about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Sorry.
So what do you want us to do for as, like, health items, toothbrushes, that kind of stuff for donation, or what do you
I
want?
can't remember what it said on there.
I can pull it up and go off of whatever it was earlier, but that's essentially what we're saying is we want to do, stuff for donation for one of the local,
For the food bank.
food bank? Okay, that would
For
be.
the North Ellis County Outreach.
Okay,
But if we're gonna do like toothbrushes and toothpaste,
Oh, no toothbrushes, it was, can't remember now, soap and, well, they're both Christmas and Halloween at the same time, so I can't remember which one was which.
toiletries and,
okay, but we need a limit on, you know, because we'll have one person bring one bar of soap and one bottle of shampoo or something, and we always put a limit. So, I mean, if they can even go to the dollar store and pick up the toothpaste or shampoo, whatever. So,
10 full-size
at
items.
least 10 items, yeah. You have to provide at least 10 items and, the 2 large bags of candy. That's not asking, that is not asking a lot. And so the Lions Club will still be able to help us then, and they're still gonna do the costume contest.
They were gonna try to be here tonight, but unfortunately, they had something happen, they weren't able to be here. So I told them I would get back with the Lions Club and let them know that, you know, go ahead and set up like they had done in the past. They wanted to come up with categories for
Yeah.
costumes. And that way they could go through and give some sort of award out, and then give them time to figure out what type of award they were gonna give out.
Okay. Now, is the trailer still down there at the park?
Both of the stages are at the park now.
Okay, so we're not gonna move them, correct?
I can move them, but I have to go get a truck from Public Works, because
Yeah, I know.
those things are heavy.
I don't want them moved, though, because we'll need the stage for the music, the Halloween music, for that, and then we'll also need the stage depending on the Christmas stuff, so
Sure.
usually we keep it there. So please don't move them. I'm asking.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah. We've gone ahead, and since we've had to order, because everything is in such limited supplies, what we're gonna do is allow the Parks Board to, these have different looks on them, and we have about 250 of these bags. And what we're gonna do is I'll go around and solicit like we did for Easter to try to find particular members from the community that have restaurants or something that may want to advertise or whatever, and have them give us stuff so we can stuff these bags, and we'll give those to the first 250 kids that come by. They'll say we come by the Parks Commission booth, and they're able to pick this up, and then y'all can give them, that way they can put their candy in it and use it as a sort of a trick-or-treat bag, because I know they may use it the next week as well.
Right. Are we gonna do an age limit?
Yeah, I think we should do under 10, because it gets a little, crazy if we allow, you know, you'll have 18-year-olds coming and trying to get bags, so. I don't know, it's up to y'all, whatever y'all think.
We have parents that come and trick or treat.
I mean, I just take 10 as an arbitrary number, but whatever y'all think is a fair age, and then we'll just say, hey, for kids between the ages of, you know, 0 and this group right here, will allow you to come by, please come by and get a bag. And also, we can put any information that we want to in it, including advertising our upcoming events. I think it'd be a good opportunity for that.
How about, what is our age group limit for Easter?
8.
8?
I'd say, if it's gonna go around, I'd say age 12, because the next one's teenagers, so you can kind of say the teenagers.
You're out.
Yeah.
You're a teen, you're booted.
Yeah, it'd be confusing, I think.
Yeah.
Because, 11-year-olds, but teenagers down there, adults.
Yeah, 6th grade and under.
Yeah.
What grade are you in? You know.
Yeah, and then we can,
Yeah.
well, y'all come up if you would, please, I'd like the ages you would like us to try to target these towards, and then we'll get these ready for those. And then I would like them to be handed out from y'all's booth, like we'll set up the booth like we did at 4th of July,
Okay.
and allow them to come by, so y'all have the opportunity to see all the different kids and everything that are dressed up, and
Are we gonna dress up?
might as well. I mean, Joey, you gonna dress up?
Probably not.
No?
Joanne, you could dress up. Like,
Over you, yes, so.
yeah, those are the ages. Sure. We'll put we'll dress up.
Okay. And there'll be some goodies in here. We have a little bit of candy at the office. And we'll put some things in there. That way when the kids come, you know, they get an opportunity to at least get a bag for the first that come, and
Yeah.
y'all know how it goes. It's kind of like you're gonna have to use some judgment on some of these other kids that come in 15 years old and try to sneak everything out, and just say, it's really for the little kids.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah.
We'll see their last, grade, next cycle.
Okay, so we need to decide, okay, our booth will be drag, Halloween outfit. I don't write it down, I don't remember. Halloween outfit. And I mean, you don't have to be scary or gory or anything.
So do we want a DJ for the event?
We've always just used the sound system with scary music, the Halloween music.
Was that on, whose phone was that on?
Lori?
I forget.
No, but we can always download some Halloween music, or surely we can find some Halloween music somewhere.
Take cover.
We'll.
I've got a loud music box that we just hook up to a phone.
Okay.
We'll play some festive type Halloween music.
Okay. We have to play what is it? Jeez. What's that real popular Halloween music, that song?
For the Addams Family.
Addams Family.
What was that song? I can't remember now.
I don't either, I don't remember.
And what type of vendors, and are we gonna limit the number of any type of vendor that would show up for the event?
Oh,
All comers?
yes. Anyone who wants to participate is more than welcome. I think we need to have the food vendors, those popcorn people were great. Loved their popcorn. Let me see. But yeah. And any school groups, any of the school groups that want to come out, like the senior class or junior class or football that wants to sell their items or whatever. So, We've got artsy crafty ladies that sell autumn wreaths. We don't get those people anymore. Where'd they go? So, anyway, yep. Yep. Their entry fee is the 2 large bags of candy and 10 items. Yes, ma'am?
Monster Mash.
Monster Mash, that's it.
I was
That's
doing
it.
work.
Yeah, that's it.
And what about the, I'll start running them down. Any, bounce houses or anything like that that y'all are particularly wanting to have there? Or is that something you wanna have there?
Well, as long as it's not gonna rain, we'll be good to put them in between the high school parking lot and CSTC parking lot. We could put them there. Now, if it rains, we can't because we get late TSTC,
Correct.
which therefore they would go in the back of the building, between the building and the houses back there. So, but even if we do the bounce houses and put them in front, we could put the food trucks, depending on how many food trucks we get, we could do the food trucks either in the back or along the side. Gonna want to, I don't know that the bounce houses is good for is on the concrete, because there's no way to anchor.
Yeah, it has to be in the grass.
Yeah. So,
We do things like that corn toss, other little, I mean, I hate to have nothing.
yeah, I mean, we could set up that whole parking lot, with lots of little games and stuff from, I don't know what they wanna bring out, what folks want to bring out, but there'll be enough, parking.
Is there electricity there for the food vendors?
We'll have to bring generators.
We need to specify that, because we've already paid electricity for them.
Correct. What about any other rides or events or anything y'all wanna see?
Well, I know they used to have that pony thing, but one-of-a-kind pony
Some of the kind.
but I don't even know if they're still in business anymore. But I don't think, not for Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
They'll have their
They have a
costumes
lot.
and stuff, yeah.
a lot of them animal-related issues.
Yeah, yeah.
But just, I can't think of any right off, but if there was some other events, ring toss, whatever, they normally have.
Well, that's what, Oaks brings.
Oh, okay.
They bring, you might just ask them what they've got. And the big bags of candy that are donated, I know they bring candy, but we also help supply them as well too.
Good.
But we do keep some back for the Christmas stuff.
Okay, with them doing that, what about the trunk or treat? Are we gonna set up an area for that, or?
Yeah, we'll have to set up an area. We'll have to set up an area for trunk or treat, and that may be,
So that's usually the vendors, that's usually the vendors too.
yeah. I mean, I guess we're gonna have to see how many vendors that we get, but yeah, we'll have an area. Even if I'm thinking the big long driveway, even in the front of our building, we could do vendors there, or that might be where we wanna set up the trunk or treat.
Yeah, 'cause they would feel,
You
they
know.
don't have to have a trunk, I mean, they can do the trunk or treat, they just have something set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or that first row of parking in our parking lot. You
Yeah.
can set that up for the trunk or treat kids there. You know, there's lots of different ways that we could set it up, because when you first come in the driveway off of Lorant, then, and we would have to lock, I was gonna say, if we have it all in the front, we'll have to keep that gate locked, but people should be able to enter from 342 and park in the very back. So when you come in to TFTC off of Lorent, you can turn to the right, and that goes to all the parking lots. To the left, that goes to the back of the building. Go straight, that's the very front of the building. And then if you go to the right and go down that first row, I mean, that starts all the student parking and all that other kind of stuff. So that's where we can have all the games and stuff set up, and we could put the cars in there for the trunk or treat, put the vendors down that. I think we need to make it easy for the vendors, you know, that, like I said, they'll have to bring their own generators if necessary. So, I mean, I think we have enough room. I think it'll be great, but.
Let me see who all we can get signed up, and then 2 weeks before the event, we will talk, and then we'll talk again at the next Parks Board meeting, which will be the week of the event.
Okay.
And that way it'll kind of give us
Get
we'll
it
just
all
kind of
laid out.
narrow things down as we get closer. We'll have everything a little bit more ironed out and nailed down.
We'll just keep praying COVID goes away so we can have this event.
That's right. It has to be, but this is the right reason.
So, okay. Are we all good on Halloween? Everybody got it?
I like it. I like
Okay.
it.
Woo-hoo!
Calendar.
I wish we could get, I wish we could have the kids do maybe we can do a pumpkin, bring your carved pumpkin, and we'll have a judging.
Or for the little kids, they could have a paper mache, that they make.
Well, if we wanted, I guess we could have them paint,
That's another really good thought.
have them paint and then enter it into a contest or, something. It just depends on what we want to do.
Or we could just have a bunch of printed out pumpkins so they can color.
Well, that's true.
Instead of having
Color. That's a better idea than paint.
I've been painting for 2 weeks and I'm still covered.
So, yeah, that might be great. To, just coloring, for 0 to 5 or something like that, and then 6 to 10 or 6 to 12, whatever, we do those other bags. Let's have a pumpkin carving contest. Bring your pumpkin and enter it into the contest. I think that'd be fun.
Somehow might be the wrong event, but how about balloons or decorative? Or they already have that figured out. That can kind of make it look real decorative,
Little festive?
Yeah. Maybe lights or something.
Well, we have the parking lot light. So I'm not worried about the
Yeah,
light.
that's the other thing.
The
What
lighting.
time are we gonna have the event? Darkness is gonna happen around 6:45 that day,
Yeah.
maybe 6:30. I can't remember the exact time.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if we have a lot of kids and have a lot of fun, We've got our parking lot lights.
Didn't we do it from 6 to 8?
I definitely don't wanna go that late anymore, because I can't guarantee safety after dark. And that's kinda gonna be one of the problems that we gotta deal with now, is I've gotta look at it from a safety and risk perspective. So this is definitely gonna need to be a daytime event.
We got them typed in about, no later than 6:30, because the sun goes down, people gotta pack up and, get out, so. Goes on down at 7, so, ish.
When does the time change?
November,
Okay,
the first week of November.
From 4 to 7?
Three hours?
We gotta make it worth the vendor's time, or they don't wanna show up.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're vendors, probably like they're, right? And then they have
Well, see, that's Saturday, during the day, you got soccer games and football games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, softball's got their tournament that day, but they are going to wrap up a little bit earlier. So hopefully we can catch as many of the kids as possible. Yeah, 'cause football's playing now, they're playing most of their games from noon until 9 on Saturdays.
Wow. Yeah.
Softball starts early that day. He's trying to get most of the games in before 4 o'clock. So they should be wrapped up by 5, and that'll free up a bunch of kids from there to be able to come over too if we have it till 7.
We need to get them to advertise it, announce it.
We'll start using social media now.
I mean, it's a softball game for people that are out of town, right, Red Oak.
tell them to go across the thing.
Yeah, we definitely get Steve and them to advertise for us, event at their location, put up a sign too. Oh. Any other items that we need to add for the event?
Covered most everything for that.
So what time is it gonna be?
You say 4 to 7 or 3 to 7? Well, by any chance, did the Lions Club say what time they would do the Halloween contest?
Nope, whenever we told them the event was, and then I'll give her the time tomorrow and let them start figuring it out.
I was just trying to think, because I know we've done it at night.
Well, yeah, it's usually at 9, I mean, it's always dark when we leave.
Yeah, oh, yeah. But,
I think we always did from 6 to 9.
I know it was dark. So if we do, $4 hours too long, and the only reason I say that is only because I'm thinking of
3
the
hours is
Lions.
probably ideal, because people that are working it will probably have to do an hour before and then maybe an hour after, so that's 5 hours on them. I don't think that's asking too much for most people. And the vendors have enough time, 3 hours is enough time for them to make it worth their while.
I was just thinking, if we do 4 to 7, that's a lot of cramming the age groups of the costume contest,
So what do
as
we do,
well
3 to 7,
as
or
the trunk or treat.
why don't we do 3 to 7? Is that okay with y'all?
3 to Seven's
It was
good
4
with
hours
me.
of the
Is
event,
that all right
and
with you? Yeah. 3 to 7? Okay. We'll need to figure out some kind of, thing to get the kids first, second, third place or whatever for coloring or pumpkin carving things, whatever.
Okay.
We'll have to figure something out. Discuss and make decisions for the Christmas parade. Well,
we've already confirmed the date of December the 4th.
right,
What time do we want to go? We had really put,
we did not discuss that. We have not discussed, I want to do an ice skating rink with the snow machine. We were gonna try to make it,
I've got your ice skating machine over here, I got your numbers.
okay. I think we need to make it festive. I really, really do.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I love the ice skating idea, because it'll turn into a big event, whether we rent it for 4 hours or 4 weeks, it's the same price.
Really?
It's $32,800 for 4 weeks or 4 hours. So,
How big?
that is 2,000 square feet.
Okay, that doesn't tell me nothing.
Essentially the size of probably this part of the room from the door this way, right here.
That's a pretty big place. How many people do they say you get on?
At the 2,000 square foot level, to comfortably have out there, the capacity is 48 skaters.
Oh, wow.
They include 80 pairs of skates with their price. Their price includes setup and also the ability for them to train whoever's there in order how to operate the rink, because it is a dry rink. Self-lubricating is what they call the material, so all we have to do is make sure that we keep the dust and dirt off of it. It functions the same as ice, and they will, there should be no real issues with it, and, people that have their own skates can, like they have, skates for whether they're figure skaters or if they're, hockey players, they can bring their own skates. And still work on this material. So, they do have bigger ones, but he's recommending that. He said most cities that start off have a rink of about that size. I have not checked in to see what size the one that Waxahachie owns, what size theirs is.
Oh, they own one?
They own one, that's what I was told. I'll just kind of show that would be the configuration and sort of what it would look like. It really does look like an ice rink, so.
Really?
So it's really,
How cool is that? I just love it.
I'll leave these with you, just show Joanne real quick. But these are the,
Yeah.
oh, it'll look like a real
Let's keep it for 4 weeks.
skating rink.
Now, who's gonna be out there manning it
Well,
8 hours a day for 4 weeks?
No,
I
actually, we've kind of thought about this. It may not work this year, but I certainly would like to work it into our plans for next year.
Okay.
And I'm not giving up for this year, but I'm saying that next year, heck yeah, because this is a commitment from the city, because it would be a deal where we would have this ice rink open the first week in December, and we would probably operate it during the evenings and be able to, we would do it at, more than likely, somewhere like over by the football field,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
inside, because there's no events in December. We can use the
Yeah.
restrooms, and we can
Wow.
store everything inside the room close the gates off, so that way we would have some way of having some security.
Can we charge like $5 a
I
person
don't know,
or
we
no?
might be able to. Well, I mean, you may not be able to charge to use the ice, but we might be able to rent the skates.
That's right. Definitely. You know that big event that, they had out at Rangers Stadium? Not the new one, the old one. They had the ice with all the lights. That place from Canada, okay? They had an ice rink.
This is the same company.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, I was talking to the Canucks about it. They were telling me all about it, and he said normally by this time they have all their rinks rented out for the year,
Yeah.
and right now he's got 2 left,
Oh, shoot.
and,
Did you tell him, what about if we want to do it?
well, he said let him know.
Well, if he's only got 2 left, how are we gonna get one?
Well, we'd have to put a $5,000 deposit on it, and then we'd have to, literally, this needs to go further. This probably needs to go to the
City council?
EDC and ask them for some help, through the IDC, and so that way we could get funding for it, and then try to do some sort of a cost recovery through the skate rental. You know, whether it's like $5 for an hour for the skates, but most people will get tired after probably 20 to 30 minutes and say, hey, I'm gonna turn the skates in, I'm done, so.
Well, that's what those people, that's what they charged, I think, $5 to rent the skate out at that Festival of Lights or whatever it was called. I mean, we paid an arm and a leg to even get in the joint and walk through all the lights, but I mean, that thing was busy the entire time, you know, and theirs was a great big oval or, you know, and they had a bridge that went over it so people could see, you know.
He said if it does get bigger, he would recommend in future years, like going to a 4,000 square foot, which would be about the size of this 4,000 square feet in this room, is that approximate size?
Okay.
So it's huge, and so you double your skater load then from the 2,000 square feet, and the rinks themselves are running about 100. If you wanted to buy them, 110,000 for everything for the 2,000, and then 220,000 for the 4,000 square foot rink. And the great thing about renting them is you don't have to worry about if something gets damaged or worn out, they replace. But that's on them. We wouldn't have to worry about anything, and we don't have to store it. And that's another problem that I know Waxahachie has. They have to store all that.
I was gonna say, if they've got one, I don't know where they ice skate.
I don't know either. I found that out today.
Seen them ice skating.
So when do you, are you?
That'd be at Gander Park.
Huh?
That'd be at Gander Park, wouldn't it?
Or you don't?
I would like to visit with them, like, this week,
Okay.
and get some feedback from them, and if they're okay with us moving forward, that's great. If not, let's come up with a solid plan for 2023 or 2022, and then we'll make this one of our big deals. I mean, this could be a big deal for the parks, and that would allow us the opportunity, because you do have to have an attendant there when it's open. You just can't leave it open in general, so somebody would have to be there during the hours that it's open. And a lot of the cities, like where I came from, Baytown, they did real ice for the 2,000 square foot, even if you own all the material, just to set it up, it's a $200,000 fee. So doing it yourself and setting up your own ice rink is about $200,000.
Yeah.
So this, in comparing, is really, really less expensive, and it's dry. So people, when they do fall, they don't have to worry about
Getting wet.
and, and, you know, getting all dirty or whatever from the water.
How fun would it be to set up a little hockey game with little ones? How cool would that be? That would be awesome.
Never get them off of there.
I know.
It's a good opportunity, and I just wish that I had started, 3 months ago. That would have been probably about the time we were wrapping up budget, was whenever we started thinking about this, and it wasn't early enough, so.
Well,
Would that damage the playing field at the football stadium?
We won't put it on, it has to go on a solid surface, So what I might end up having to do in that end of the, you know, right there where the restroom building is and where the meeting room is come out about 45 feet off of there where the old parking lot is, and then lay down 2,000 square feet of asphalt. That way it would be on a fresh, solid surface, and it would be available year to year, and we wouldn't have to worry about where we, put it, because that's a very secure area. Don't know of any soccer games in December, and I don't know of any football games that are typically happening there in December, and we can also, we own the facility, we can block them out from those dates and let them know in advance that there's nothing gonna be happening out there during that time. I mean, it could be a big event. It could be a big deal for Red Oak, and so, I mean, I apologize I didn't start earlier, but I really feel like starting now and trying to rush into it might be a mistake, but I don't want to miss an opportunity either, so. I'll see what comes of it, and then I'll go from there.
Well, we definitely need to get that snow machine.
I got it. I got it.
Okay.
I was gonna tell you about it. We're good. I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Okay.
Am I allowed to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just looked it up, the Daily Light in Waxahachie posted about the skate rink, but the only thing that comes up is from 2006. There's nothing recent in the last years that talks about their skate rink.
Okay.
And so in 2006, it was put on by the Chamber of Commerce, so it was different.
All right, let me do some research,
Okay.
some quick research and find out what's going on. I'll call over there and see if they still have their rink and they're not using it, or is this a deal where they just didn't have success with it and walked away?
Yeah.
But I don't know, I think if you did this right, I don't know that you're gonna make your money back. I really don't, because you gotta consider, you gotta pay somebody to be there to rent the skates out, but on the other hand, there's an opportunity for concessions and a contract with somebody for concessions and things like that, to where you could make all this work for sure.
Sure.
What if you put that into service hours, so like any chef at a school, or I do if they have student organizations that are required to do community service hours, free work, but you're having staff right there because they're required by.
That would work too. That would definitely work, because I mean, our baseball group has a concession trailer, and not just to try to use them all the time, but they seem to be willing to do stuff like that. If they would be willing to do concessions there, while they're there, if they have volunteers that help them, why wouldn't they be able to, rent the skates out as well? Maybe we could work a deal with them that, they get like we do with them on their concessions, we get 1%, and they get 1% from us.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's whoever wants to work it. I mean, we're all in this together to help the kids. That's what we want.
I mean, we're looking for something for the kids to do in this community, and that's a real neat opportunity, and I think if it's done right, you'll have people coming from all the cities around.
Exactly. So, and two, we will need to start, kind of like what Waxahachie does with their Texas Country Reporter in October. Then we can start doing that mirrored from what they're doing. So, yeah.
It's also here, so.
Yeah.
You
So,
know that,
yeah, they have all kinds of stuff, and
if they.
I'm real good friends with Lori Mosley, so down at the convention center, so.
Well, we've got to start on that, and so that's a good start. I'll feedback information as quick as I can to y'all. Like I say, to me, it's doubtful for this year,
Yeah,
but I think it looks really bright for 2022. And if we target that and can operate that thing correctly for that month,
yeah,
what an impact we can make in a short period.
Kind of build up the anticipation.
Well, we wouldn't have to have it open every night.
At the beginning of
Yeah.
school, and start talking about.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
About it.
yeah, you could.
Like,
Come
You'll
skate
be,
with us.
you'll be taking a lot of tickets, like, okay, number 274, you can go on now.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a situation, we had that happen too. Baytown had a limit of 60 skaters at a time on the ice, and, because they had real ice, but they could actually only operate their ice rink about half the time because it melted.
Yeah.
If it gets above, I think their ideal temperature was 40 degrees, but if it gets above 55, you begin to see ice melt, and it's kind of just slosh.
They didn't have one of those Zamboni?
No, they did.
Oh,
Didn't
they
do them
did?
any good when you're outside.
Oh. I'm gonna learn how to try one of them days. Okay, yeah, I'm all for this, and that's our big goal for next year. Yeah, definitely, and we will work on this all year long and
Make it happen.
make it happen. Okay? We can make it happen. How exciting is that? Woo-hoo. Okay. What else?
So what about?
Time for the Christmas parade?
Yeah, so what about?
The Christmas tree?
Parade.
Oh. Well, we have to have a Christmas tree too.
Saturday, December the 4th is the parade.
Yes. Are we doing day or night?
Maybe we can have like 5 o'clock, people have out there and stuff. I guess it's Saturday,
Yeah, it's a Saturday.
so what time did you say, night or day?
Well, that's what I'm asking. Do we want to do a parade of lights, or do we want to do a,
Daytime, one where they can throw stuff up.
yeah.
How about for daytime?
That'd be
Only 'cause at night it gets really cold.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So, 9?
9?
You want to start at 9, or do you want to start at 8? Or 11?
How about 5?
What about 10 a.m.?
Huh?
10 a.m.?
Probably gonna go later. Y'all wanna go later, like in the day, or y'all wanna go early in the day? I mean, I kinda agree, like, 10 o'clock's probably one of those median times, or, 3 o'clock. What do y'all think? Because what are we gonna do after the parade? That's kinda like may determine when we decide to have the parade. What do y'all wanna see after?
If the parade starts, and we have those lunch trucks there, then ready to get on that.
Sure.
And then, all we do is open it up to the vendors. We have we used to have Mr. and Mrs. Claus. I don't know if they still do it now or not, but we did a single Santa in the gazebo, and the snow machine, and decorated that, and we did bounce houses, and, just fun stuff for kids.
Last year, we started parade at 11. And we ended at 3.
11 to 3.
Or we could go to 4. I think maybe we had it at 4, and then everybody it got empty. I think we just started closing down.
I think 3 o'clock would probably be better. Give it like a 11 to 4, or 11 to 3, I mean, because I agree that some of the vendors, a lot of people are gonna come right after the parade, and
Yeah.
through the first 2 hours after the parade, will be really busy, and then the wrap-up hour after that.
Yeah.
It'll be just like it was for what the chamber just got through doing, If we, because we always invite all the school people, the bands, the drill team, the cheerleaders, football players, always, include the football players, sometimes, and one thing we need to invite our surrounding community, Villa,
Oh,
Glen Heights, they all need to be invited. The sheriff's department needs to be invited.
Fire department.
As well as also, yep, you know, of course, we have a lot of responders, because that's what the chambers,
I'm gonna lean into the chamber to get some people signed up. And what I'll do is I'll start working now, because I've got a little bit of a direction. One of the things that I want to find out too from y'all is, do y'all want to do, y'all talked about a theme before, and are we doing a theme, or what's your thoughts on that?
Say that there is hope.
I mean, with Jenny's new snow machine, it could be Winter Wonderland.
We had that beautiful thing on those run t-shirts.
One thing that we'll be doing is, you know, we did plant the Christmas tree, the live tree in the park, and it's only been in there for 1 year, so it's only about 8 feet tall. We will decorate that. We have an ornamental, white ornamental fence that's gonna surround the entire thing.
Okay.
We'll have a white fake snow on the ground, a skirt around the tree, Christmas presents, and lighting on with garland along the fence. So it'll be really decorated, really neat, and it'll be a photo op for folks too, as well as kind of something in the middle. So that'll already be set up.
Cool. Are we gonna do, well, we talked about, you know, in the parade, getting, you know, 3 or 4 judges or whatever to do, you know, most decorated parade float or whatever. You know,
Yeah, how many different categories do you want?
gosh, we've had, I guess a lot of it is, if we need to decide whether we're gonna go with a team or not. Are you finding anything with, you said hope?
Yeah. Or the better, yeah. Always tomorrow or,
No more COVID.
Oh, let's see.
We might want to do the Winter Wonderland thing for next year. Because we could even do the t-shirts and stuff. I still love that one winter thing. And I've got a t-shirt I'll show you,
Okay.
you know, and
I mean, anything y'all can think of that, I mean, that would theme this up, you know, I'll be home for Christmas, or, you know, anything that, you come up with. We don't have to have that theme right now, but we would definitely need it by the next meeting, because that's when we'll start the push for the specific groups to be sure that they're participating.
okay.
But I'm gonna work, with Clint at the chamber, and then I'll see if we can reach out to the other chambers in the neighboring communities, see if they have anybody that might be willing or wants to participate in the parade. And
Okay.
So they got Comfort and Joy is one, that's on the world food thing. White Christmas and stuff. Yeah, that's a good to kind of just see what we can find.
But if y'all would just kind of think about that, and then the next meeting, we'll decide, and that way, you know, just go whatever y'all think.
Okay.
We'll be good with that. Anything else y'all feel like I need to be working towards right now for this event?
We just need to make sure we've contacted the school for the band and the drill team and the middle school, their high steppers.
the others that the school thinks might be
you know,
good to include.
ROTC and.
yeah,
Didn't,
ROTC.
Lori said she already contacted her and the fourth was okay?
That's what we were told.
Yeah,
Now,
we need to double check, but.
I know.
All right, what about, vendor fees for this
It's
event?
the same.
Same? Y'all wanna do, since it's around the holidays, any canned goods or anything like that, food wise?
I gave you the, thing for Christmas too.
Okay,
It's all in the same email.
perfect, I'll do that.
I know one year we collected stock,
And they're wanting, like juices and stuff like that.
wanted what?
Juice and
Juice.
stuff like that.
Now, do they ever like come to the event and like park a truck or a van or something like that and say, hey, let's load us up as we go?
My car,
Okay,
my car gets loaded.
okay. 'Cause
Most of the vendors though, they come up, when they fill out their paperwork, they just bring everything up here.
Yeah,
And then Lori calls me when she's got a bunch, I
Well,
come up
that's
here
the
and get it.
problem, is they're not having limited contact, so
yeah.
we'll have to figure that one out. Everything that we're doing is going to online. The reservation system for all the parks, for all the pavilions is, we're transferring that to online. You pay by credit card, no contact with anybody, you don't have to talk to anybody, you just go in, fill out the information. Once it's confirmed, you're charged and you get a receipt, and then you can rent your pavilions that way. And same thing with all the fields, anything, if you wanna rent them, those will all be online through our new program called Civic Rec. That should be finished next month. We've been working on that since June. And Civic Rec will do everything from, if you wanna rent a baseball field for a game and you need the lights, when you put in your information, it automatically knows that, hey, it's, the program tells it, hey, it's after dark at that time, and during this time of year, they need lights, and it replies to them, you need lights for this event, and then you pay for the lights and everything, and then it's all automated. Sends us an email, puts it on our calendar, and tells us, hey, Joe Blow signed up yesterday for baseball field number 5 at 8:00 tomorrow night, and has already paid. That's all we need to know, and then we can give them the codes and everything to the gates and how they get in. So it's
I mean,
Yeah,
no big
pretty
deal, I
much,
can
yeah.
collect everything at the, Jenny, I usually walk around and collect all the stuff anyway.
okay. And I would like to invite the community to bring whatever it is that we target, if it's just canned goods, or if it's juices or stuff like that,
Yeah.
whatever it is y'all feel like we need to target, I wanna put that out there too. That's why I'm saying we have a vehicle here that we drop off, because it's likely to be one of those deals where we'll get quite a bit of material, from the public in general.
Well, I can bring my husband's F-250, it's got a roll out thing on the back, and we can just use that.
Okay,
Cause then when I go up there on Mondays, I unload it.
awesome. Anything else on Christmas?
We come up with, some ideas, we just email them to you or save them for the.
Sure, I mean, we can get a group email going too, where all of us are just talking back and forth, because, sometimes the best ideas just pop into your head, and you're thinking, maybe that would work, and then, you send it out, and y'all talk it out, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does, hey, great, let's go for it. Got nothing to lose by just fresh ideas, so.
Yeah.
We have to pick one.
Well, and I think too, next, with what we've got going for next year, if we can also include not just the ice rink, but if we can get the businesses to start decorating and do something for them, maybe take pictures or something. You've got until from the 1st to the 15th or something that, you've got to decorate, and people will be going around, and you won't know who's gonna be judging or anything.
Yeah, they
and
have
how-
like a order.
Yeah, how-
Recognition or something, or winning, you know, they could win category.
Yeah, you have different categories, but have the businesses start getting involved, because we have no businesses that really go out and decorate.
Sure.
So, we definitely need to,
I mean, all the businesses.
yeah, so we'll start working on that as well as some other things, so. Just for next year, sorry. Just popped into my head. I don't tell you now, I won't remember. Okay, so we have all the vendors, the food vendors. We have, well, we got what, a couple of jump houses or something for the kids?
At Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had, bounce houses and like that rock plumbing thing.
Oh, yeah, the rock wall, yeah, rock climbing thing.
Usually the same thing we have at all the events. We have that at Christmas too.
Yeah, but we didn't have, do we have the rock thing on the 4th of July? I have not sent an email, but I am gonna check into that, a couple other inflatable
Okay.
companies,
Yeah, local's great.
so, yeah. And do you know how to get a hold of DJ?
The guy that we always do.
Julie? You know how to get hold of Julie? If not, I can.
Well, the only one I know how to get hold of, I don't know if I could even do that now, is the guy that we used to use.
Oh, the real estate guy?
Yeah. I'll think of his name at midnight for you.
Yeah, okay.
I just saw him the other day.
I don't even know if he's still doing that.
Yeah, he is.
Here, okay. Have to look at him, we'll look at Julie, because they're local, and I'd rather just as soon use the local people for that, so.
I'll see if there's, somebody knows him.
If you guys have anything else on Christmas, just send that email out.
When do we want the DJ for Christmas?
Huh?
The DJ for Christmas?
Did we have one for Christmas?
Well,
No.
what do you want the local DJ for?
For, I guess the 4th of July, huh?
Oh, I thought you want it now.
Yeah, that'll be down the road.
Well, yeah, but I was
We're,
gonna say.
now we're into January. If
Yes. Okay, number D, discuss and make decisions related to the Texas Park and Wildlife Department Division, whatever. About trout stocking. Not stocking, but stocking, adding to the lake. Let me rephrase that. I can't tell you about stocking, I don't know.
And this last year, we did 1,000 fish into the pond. We were lucky to get into the program, but because we did participate, we were selected another slot this year. So we're in now, so we're like in their rotation. So we will get the first right of refusal, but the only thing is that I need to commit to them tomorrow, the number of fish that we're committing to and the date in which we're targeting. So that way we can get that slot quickly, because that same letter went out to 140 other cities that were selected, and those cities will come back and start taking all the time slots. And we'd like to try that. One of the things I'm trying to do is trying to target, if you're noticing, an event every month, some sort of event, whether it's big or small, something that would just keep us going throughout the year. And and I'm just suggesting that we target the middle of January, and we target 2,000 fish, because that is what the budget that I put in for this next year, because we don't know the fish price, and so I just picked an arbitrary number and it comes out that it would be right around 2,000 fish. So that's something that I'm asking y'all to make sure that that's okay, and then that we select the dates for the kid fish. That way, Parks and Wildlife knows that, hey, you're having a kid fish event that tails onto this, and they'll guarantee us that date. So if we're doing a Saturday, on a Saturday, they'll back up 48 hours and come deliver the fish between 48 and 72 hours out, because they won't bite their first 48 hours in that water. They're too stirred up and they won't eat, but as soon as they hit that 48-hour mark, for some reason, they just turn on and it's crazy. And that's what we want. We want the kids to be able to catch fish.
And you know how we talked about, the kid fishing thing? At the same time, he's been talking to somebody that could maybe do a grant or for something to help with fishing poles and all that other kind of stuff. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. That's exactly what I want to make sure everybody knew was, we have a possible grant opportunity that we're investigating right now, that somebody that, they don't have a dollar limit, but if they would just say, hey, what are you asking for? And I would ask for fishing supplies and, maybe some awards or something for that event, so we wouldn't have to pay as much out of pocket, because our part of that is already the money that we're spending on the fish.
And it would be we don't want the public to know about this, because we don't want people coming out and fishing prior to the kids being able.
So we're not trying to be secretive or anything, but we just want to be
Well, yes,
real
we
vocal
are.
about the dates when Parks and Wildlife is gonna deliver the fish.
And
Because when that happens, everybody for 30 miles is gonna show up, and like they did this last time, and there's gonna be shoulder-to-shoulder people. So we just won't say anything until right before, and since they know what we're trying to do, Parks and Wildlife generally won't announce our date until the date that we are having the event.
And if you've never been here to see them do it, it's amazing. It was just awesome. I was so impressed. Anyway, just throw that in there. You want to come watch?
Well, January is,
So January.
that Saturday. Is
So-
that what you're looking for?
Somewhere in the middle, I don't
We
know
need
what's
to
convenient
either
for
the
everybody.
15th or the 22nd.
Okay, so yeah, that.
One of those
you
two
put
days.
on Saturday.
The what?
The 15th or the 22nd of January,
Why?
because that's the middle of January.
Oh.
Those are the 2 dates available. So, I think that's a good reason.
School will be, so it's
So
going back to the
either the
Everybody be back.
15th or the 22nd.
15th.
Okay, there's 5 Saturdays in January. January 1st, 8th, 15, 22, and 29. So if we have a meeting on the 18th, we have the 18th and then the fishing on the 22nd. Or we can have the fishing on the 15th and discuss the 18th at our meeting of what we need to tweak for the next year. So pick a day.
I'd say 15th, is that?
I do too, 'cause it gets colder towards February.
Okay, 15th.
And is the hours, because these typically happen pretty early, the hours between 8 a.m. and noon, okay with y'all?
Perfect. I'm not a fisherman. I don't do worms. I don't do fish or, nothing like
Do
that.
they get to
so-
keep these fish that they catch?
Yeah, the Parks and Wildlife, part of the deal is they're paying for half of the fish. So, it's a deal to try to entice people to learn how to fish and go buy fishing supplies and get interested in it. So they are allowed to keep 5 fish per day. And, it doesn't matter the size, there's no size limit on these. Typically these, as they come in from the trucks, they'll be between 10 and 14 inches in size. So they're not huge, but they're perfect eating size for trout. And, most of the trout, 98% of these trout will be caught out before it gets too warm in the water, just because they're a very aggressive, hungry fish. And once they're any fish that remain after it gets too hot, they typically will die and go through the life cycle of turning their body back to the earth. So, but they do say most of the fish will be caught. So that's a big deal.
And how exciting is that? That's
If you get to, like, if you came out here and just watched on a Saturday, even 2 weeks or 3 weeks after they released those fish last year, it was pretty amazing. There was 20 or 30 people out there fishing, and they're all catching fish, so it's fun.
And seeing the little kids, they just get so excited. Well, I get excited, I'm a big kid, but I don't like fish, so, you know.
Yeah, I thought, Nicholas was going on, jump in the lake and drown, only about this long. Body was jumping so.
So, what do you need us to do?
That's it for right now.
Okay.
You know, that's the start, and then
That is so exciting.
and then I guess I get to tell y'all a little bit real quick, because I know y'all wanna go home. I wanna tell you a little bit about one of the ideas that we've been passing around with the library. You know, they have the Touch a Truck event, and for February, I'd like to try to work with the library to help host the Touch a Truck, which it doesn't necessarily have to be a truck, but what it is an event where kids get to come out and let's say we get the sheriff's office brings out vehicles, the fire department, the military, they bring out some aircraft, they'll land some helicopters out here, wherever we have the event, and kids get to physically put their hands on these vehicles, and it begins their involvement in curiosity with possibly, you know, is that gonna be my future employer here, or this is really cool, I think I wanna be a pilot, or I think I wanna be a police officer, or whatever. It's a really neat event, and the library's hosted it in the past, and it's not a real long event, it's not a whole lot involved with it, because essentially our big deal is try to get as wide a variety and as many different vehicles, whether it be a construction company that brings a big dump truck, or something that the kids will find fascinating, and give them the opportunity to get up in it and sit in those vehicles, and maybe get to feel like for a little bit that, you know, they're on top of the world driving the vehicle. I would like to pursue that for a February event. It's one of those events that would typically last about 2 to 3 hours. You know, mid-morning on a Saturday, I don't know, you know, 10 to 12 or something like that, or 9 to 12, where they get just enough time for them to go through and get their hands on those vehicles. And for the kids, it's very exciting.
Sure. And this is in February?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do we have a date?
No date yet. I just wanted to pass that on to y'all.
Okay.
And see if there would be an interest, and then we'll put it on the next agenda with more information, and then we'll pursue it and start kind of narrow some things down.
And it'll be on Saturday?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
And I'll try not to do an event in March because of spring break. And then that gets us into the April event, which is always Easter. Then I wanted to, y'all ready for me to talk for a minute?
I don't have minutes from August 31st, so I can't, we can't do.
Do we have any minutes from August? Do you mind doing that? Thank you. What I was gonna talk about was some of the happenings and things that are going on. You know, we've had an attempt at several baseball, softball tournaments that have not gone very well. So ROPSA was so kind as to come up with a really cool idea and a proposal. They would like to host up to 15 tournaments in the next year, meaning that they're different because they're a nonprofit, they're not out there trying to make money, and what they want to do is be able to make money through their concession stands to lower their fees for their kids. By hosting these tournaments, they advance a lot of teams, a lot of their players get better, and we bring in players from all over the state, or all over the region, essentially, to come and play in Red Oak. And, the way these tournaments would work is the city would get their fee out of it. The tournament would actually be cheaper for the players and for the teams coming. So we're thinking that, you know, with a lower tournament fee, there will be more people that would sign up, because generally a coach looks and says, hey, this tournament's $300 and this one's $500, let's go to the $300 tournament. Because we're gonna get the same level of play, and, we guarantee them 3 games is what they're gonna do, and so we've worked a little bit more hand in hand with them. So I proposed that idea to the city management, and they were like, you know, it's your deal, go forward if you feel like that's the way you should go. And I do feel like that's the way we should go, because not only are they local and it benefits the kids, it benefits the city in general. So I'm gonna go ahead and allow them to move forward. They're gonna put down a game deposit just like anybody else, fill out the application just like anybody else. But they're gonna go ahead and pick the dates at which they want their tournaments over the next year, and we're gonna go ahead and reserve those for them now, so that way they can be assured that they're not gonna have somebody else come in and have a tournament. One of the issues with these other tournament groups that we're finding is, not only charging a great deal of money because they're trying to make a profit, but they also get angry because they can't charge a gate fee.
Yep.
City does not allow a gate fee at any of our events. So that means that they're not able to charge $10 a head. So they're charging those teams more money to come here and play. Whereas our tournament group is exactly the opposite. They're gonna charge a little bit less, and we never depend on a gate fee. And what they're gonna do is run the concession stands, and they do a great job. There's some good food in there, so their sales are always good. So I feel like it's gonna be a really good move for the city and for the whole community.
Well, 2-3 years ago, we go to softball tournaments and we had to pay a gate fee to go in to bunch of them. This year, in the last 2 years, we have not had to pay a gate fee anywhere. We even went to Oklahoma, and, does, Sean have to pay gate fees anywhere they go?
Sometimes,
We haven't had to pay one yet.
yeah,
Because
I've been to
they're all
4.
fussing at me wanting to charge $10 a head, and
yeah.
we just can't let them do it. It's an ordinance against it, and city council has said that they're not in favor of it, and they'd like for these guys to find another way. They just don't have any faith in their ability to make it up in the concession stand, where our baseball softball group, they're professionals at the concession stand business. It's pretty amazing. Sean and them just come in, they set everything up, and they have a crew that runs it for them, and they just get out of their way and they let them run it. And, you know, they've done very well so far, and they just, for the fall, and they're just short timing it for the fall. They've only had 2 or 3 events so far, but they've done very well, so they're good at it.
So plus the people go to other restaurants and eat.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. We want to bring those people in. We want them to stay in our hotels, eat in our restaurants, and kind of get to know Red Oak a little bit better. And hopefully we'll make this an annual deal where they run the tournaments. And as far as these other outside groups, like I said, I just don't like the idea that most of them are for profit and they're charging. I mean, one of the guys is $575 for 3 games.
Yeah,
And that's
ridiculous.
a tremendous amount of money.
Yeah.
And, it puts a burden on the parents that it shouldn't, and then plus, they're wanting to charge $10 a head on top of that. I thought, it's just not good business. So, I just wanted y'all to know that that's the direction that we'll be headed, and then I'll be working with Rob so closely here to make sure that they have what they need to make their tournament successful. They are shooting for a November 20th softball shootout, or it's gonna be a turkey trot, or turkey shoot. I don't know exactly what they're naming it, but it is the week before Thanksgiving, so, they're putting that together right now, getting all their approvals from their, I don't know if it's gonna be USSSA or whoever's gonna sanction the event, getting those approvals now, so that way that event can happen. And that will host 30 teams for that event.
That's awesome. That'd be great.
There's no physical meeting though, never uploaded to the website.
Okay, I guess we'll approve them at the next meeting.
That's fine.
I want to go over real quick the items in which we're fixing to purchase, and I'll try to do this quickly. At the football field, city council awarded us $180,000 to put in new state-of-the-art Musco lighting and to put in new control panels. So this will be the control panel for the control of the lighting, my cell phone. so everything will be programmable. And that'll tie in, and that will start, I met with Musco today on the phone and just visited with them about getting that process started, because they will probably do that in December and January, so it doesn't disturb any of the games that are going on for the fall. They have lighting now that's good at the facility. It's just the Musco is a much better lighting system, and we have a good control over it, and it's a safe system. I don't have to worry about people going in control boxes and unscrewing panels and flipping switches and stuff that they don't need to be flipping. So we'll take that, get that under control.
Whose phone is that? Is that your, no,
Yeah, it can be your phone too.
is that your control? Okay.
I just go to their website and log in from any phone, and I control any of the lights that we have right now at the sports fields.
Okay,
And this will be included. This is an upgrade for us for that.
yeah,
The lights right now are running about, when we run those lights over at that football field, about $120 an hour. And with Musco, it would be about $15 an hour. So it's a huge difference.
yeah.
Other thing that we're having is, we'll be buying a new tractor and backhoe mower since we've taken on the mowing with the city. We needed a mower that was a little more reliable than the 25-year-old mower we have now, the tractor. And so they allowed us to do that. We should have that received in our inventory in about 30 days. Also, they allowed us to get I'm gonna need y'all's help on this one, is, the big screen, the outdoor big screen for movies, so we can have movies in the park. So I've got to order this, next month, and once we do, it's about a 30-day lead time, and then from there, we can start having some smaller events that are a little bit more quaint and family-oriented, and they don't necessarily have to be big events, but we can work with the library since they have a film license, which essentially he pays a fee every year, and he's able to get certain movies, and we can pay a fee for those. The other one we have is we're gonna be putting in a sidewalk from Red Oak Road, Dobbins and Live Oak intersection, all the way into Watkins Park on the east side of the street. Excuse me. The park board meeting, I'll call you back. Sorry. The sidewalk will be a 5-foot sidewalk, and then once it gets to the park, it'll grow to the 10-foot size, which is the average size inside of the park. So that way people can safely get from the north side of the area to the south side.
Okay, on the football side or the other side?
Opposite side of the football field, on the east side. We did have an option to put it on the other side, but then we would have had to get people across the road without a crosswalk. And so it was easier for us to go in there, and we'll just do the 5-foot sidewalk on the other side. You know where the pavilion is in Watkins? It'll go from the pavilion north, and then it'll butt up against the side of the street and go along the street all the way till you get to Red Oak Road.
Okay. But there's not a sidewalk from Live Oak east, is there? I'm asking you.
On the east side? No,
On the south side,
from Live Oak, from where to where?
from,
By the school.
no. From the corner of Live Oak and Red Oak Road,
No sidewalk there.
and you go over the bridge or whatever?
Yeah, there is a sidewalk on both sides of the road.
Okay.
And now what we're gonna do is, like, you'll notice,
So are
like,
we
if you're,
tying into that
we're
sidewalk?
tying into that sidewalk. So that will be continual all the way into the park. So
Okay,
you'll never have to step into the street anymore if you wanna
Awesome.
go from the north side of the city on down, and we'll start doing more connectors like that in the future, but we felt like this one was critical
Yeah.
because it's going into the park, and so many times people are walking in the middle of the street, and it's like, please
Yeah.
pay attention, because some people are not.
no, and it has always been, you know what I'm talking about. You know where we're talking about, Maria? Okay. Yeah, awesome.
So we were also awarded the ability to spend up to $15,000 for park benches, picnic tables, and new upgrading for new, essentially, park amenities. So what our idea is, we would like to, if you've noticed, like, we've got a certain table that we've been going with. It's a coated table. It's called a tough coat. It's really hard to damage those, and it's a pretty maroon color with black legs. And what we'd like to do is start upgrading all the older tables in the park, some of the barbecue pits, and some of the worst trash cans. And that way, what I did was, instead of asking for $75,000 to do it at one time, I asked for $15,000 over 5 years. And so they awarded us the $15,000 for next year. So immediately we go ahead and start ordering so we can upgrade and take some of those dilapidated tables that have essentially faded out or scratched up or not really one that you want to sit at, and can get them out of the parks and bring in the newer, nicer tables so it'd make the park look a little bit nicer and more inviting. There's 3 items that are kind of all tied together. You know, the new artificial turf surfaces, we needed a lightweight vehicle that could pull implements such as, we have a sweep drag, and then we have a drag that does a broom and magnet, so we can pick up any metal object out of the turf. So we were awarded a Gator vehicle, a lightweight Gator utility vehicle, a drag with a magnet and a complete drag, so that way we can maintain those fields in the proper manner, which they're needed, because they need to be swept as they get a little bit older. Probably about every 30 days, we'll be out there running sweeps over them to make sure that the turf never lays down on us, and get a little bit more life out of them. Instead of getting 8 years, hopefully we'll get 10 or 12 years out of these, and that'll be a huge benefit.
Does any of that have to do with the kids walking in from that parking lot, from the gravel, dirt parking lot into the ball field?
No, this is typical. This is what we would need.
Okay.
For any artificial turf field. You know, I'm not gonna go into any details, but there's some local groups that have artificial turf fields that have not been maintained very well.
Correct.
And they're very dangerous right now, and we're gonna try to avoid that situation.
Okay, well, I just wanted to see if there was something long-term down the road that we were gonna have to do to that parking lot. And did we need to start thinking
I
about
would kind of
that?
hope that someday in the future that we'd be able to either do a solid surface like an asphalt or concrete, but that, I mean, I can push that issue, but I don't know how far we'll get. Because that's, even for asphalt, that parking lot's gonna run you probably about $700,000.
Is there shredded tires, does that work or no?
Not
No.
really,
Not really?
not really.
Not even as a start-off?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, and we've got a rock base there that can be used as a base for the, if they were gonna asphalt it, it'd have to be heavy rolled and compacted. It has to be pretty tight before they can put asphalt on it. But I don't know what the temperature is of that, but that's something I would like to see in the future.
Okay.
Not that our water permeable parking lot we have now isn't great, it's just that we're always looking to get better.
I understand.
And then the big item that we were allowed to get was, we're putting in a new playground, to serve it's gonna serve Watkins, the municipal complex, and Red Oak baseball and softball. The big triangle field that's right there as you're going into the fields on the west side, right there behind field number 2. So it touches all 3, the municipal complex, the baseball complex, baseball, softball complex, and the park, Watkins. So we're being allowed to put up, it's a very large, playground. It's gonna have covered amenities, swings. It's got a net climber in it. It'll have ported plates, which is the rubberized, solid surface material, a walking trail around it. That way people can come to it, sit, and it'll be fenced, have an ornamental fence so kids can't bolt or run out in the streets. And then we'll put a sidewalk from the baseball complex to it, and then which will also tie in from the city municipal complex or city hall. And then we're gonna run a sidewalk across the road and tie it into the walking trail at Watkins, so you can get to this from all directions.
What about the playground they already have?
That one is past its useful life, and we had to pull some components out of it last month because they were deemed, unrepairable and hazardous. And most of the items that are in there are, when I say past the useful life, we can't pass an inspection with those if we try.
So what my question, that I was wondering, are you gonna take it all out of there, or what's the plan for
The
that?
playground equipment's gonna come out, and I'm gonna try to push to see if next year they'll allow us to do a solid surface underneath there, the rubberized material, for either an exercise court or an additional picnic area.
Idea, but my next question is, are they gonna ever, I know that they worked on the bathroom, but I know, at least in the women's bathroom, those doors don't have any latch closed with it, it's still, it still looks pretty tacky, you know. And they put like murals or locks on those little doors, so your staff's gonna have a closed and latched door, kind of upgrade it a little bit.
Yeah, we can work on that. I wasn't aware that was an issue.
Huh?
I wasn't aware that was an issue.
Yeah.
Because those bathrooms were built to be probably just a one-person deal, and they're so wide open, it's really,
Yeah, there's the three bathrooms, and none of the doors have any latch whatsoever.
Well, a lot of that is because that row of buildings had school kids in it.
Well,
And those kids would leave school and go over to the park, and they would damage the bathroom.
but it's been exactly that way for years now. I haven't seen it get any worse or any better.
Well, but they haven't, well,
You know what I'm saying? It's still,
yeah, I don't mind looking at it. I know they did some things they did it for a reason, but with that playground moving, there would be a definite need for change
yeah.
with why they were doing some of that, and we can work on it.
depending on what we put in there, whether it be.
And just for an example, like in Waxahachie, when you go to that public bathroom they have, it's nice, it's got little murals and stuff, and they've got locks in the bathrooms, and it's so.
Well, I can assure you the murals will not work in the bathrooms like that, because one of the things that we have problems with already is graffiti, and my guys are excellent about making sure as soon as they walk in there in the morning, we have graffiti painted over.
Okay.
The longer graffiti sits on the wall, the more it
Yeah.
grows. People think that, hey, somebody got away with graffiti, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Well,
Oh, yeah.
it makes those
Yeah.
artists they call themselves artists or whatever, they're
Yeah.
tagging stuff. It really aggravates them when we cover it every day. We'll take a roller or a can of paint in there, even if it's a different color, temporarily, and we'll paint over it. So that way they can't get any satisfaction out of what they did.
And I totally get it, and I agree with that.
It is ugly though.
Yeah.
It's not anything pretty to look at.
I think those bathrooms, that's just my, preference.
Okay.
Is to have the little latches on the door and, just think we're.
And that's certainly something we'll work on. I don't see why that would be.
Murals are just.
I don't know why that'd be an issue, particularly with this kind of, in about 90 to 120 days, you'll see a big switch in what's going on in that park when we switch to the new playground. And the old playground will have to come up, but we're not gonna take away the components and everything like the cover and everything like that, because once of those are in the ground, it's more expensive to move them than it is to buy a new one.
Okay. So that area, yeah, I like them. I notice a lot of parks now have those, that area for, people to work out.
A place for somebody to go and work out, whether we have,
Cross-training.
start having classes, yoga classes, weight rooms, or stuff like that, but Here's a picture real quick I was gonna show y'all, but that's what the new playground will look like.
Are they ever gonna have, have they decided everything that they're gonna put in Mower?
Oh. I don't know that they're finished doing all that yet. The colors will not be orange and blue. It's got more of a maroon, white, gray, silver, and I believe there's some yellow in it on a couple pieces. So and also with the covers that are going on here, the big one on the top, it will have the city logo on it. It'll say the RO, Red Oak, Texas, underneath it. So we were gonna lay this out today so I could show y'all the enormity of it, because it is it's about a third of an acre. But unfortunately it rained, so it was a little bit too muddy. So we're gonna lay that out, possibly on Thursday. We're gonna check Thursday morning, we'll check and see if it's dry. The guy that's building it is gonna come back out and lay everything out so we can make any adjustments we want to before they place the order.
Do you know what time?
At 10 o'clock. And drop by.
I'm gonna try.
Y'all are all welcome to come by if you want to. But that's pretty much all I have. The last thing I was gonna add was that the sports groups had tremendous fall signups. Football they had almost 260 kids. Baseball had 300, and soccer has yet to report, but I think he's not reporting right now because he's got so many kids that they've been trying to get their season started, and he'll turn everything into me this week, so I'm anticipating him to have a record year too.
We feel that they will come.
They have come.
And it has always been that way, and I'm thankful we're finally getting something done. 10 a.m. you say? Make no guarantees, but I've got my schedule.
Yes, Thursday at 10 a.m.
Thank you.
I'm sorry?
What is happening?
That's when we're gonna lay out the playground onto the ground, and
Oh,
we'll actually paint the borders, and so we can see where everything's at, and make sure we don't need to make any adjustments before we place the order for the material.
Do we know anything about, the restaurant?
Last I heard, they're supposed to open up either middle of next month, or it could be as late as November. He's kind of at the mercy of like everybody else. Can he find paint? Can he find employees? And can he find material he needs to serve food? He's just, everybody's having trouble. But we do have 2 positions open right now. If y'all know anybody interested, we've got a position for maintenance technician, which is a daytime position Monday through Friday, and we have a weekend and evenings position, which is a maintenance technician that would work Wednesday through Sunday, and it would be evening times on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and daytime on Saturday and Sunday. Anybody, send them to our website. It'd be really nice to get some applicants.
Yeah, I know that Country Cafe has 1 waitress today over there. I mean, people still want to work.
I don't know.
Well, Cotton Patch didn't have any cooks. Taylor was Cotton Patch, and it was Taylor's in there cooking.
You know,
She was cooking and serving.
oh my Lord. I don't get it. I don't get
Never
it.
seen anything like it in my life, so.
Well, the outreach said they had so many telephone calls Friday and yesterday, people wanting, assistance paying their rent. They said, well, have you signed up with, workforce? No, we're not signed up with them. But you need to, you know, apply so you can get a job, but we can help you with utility bills, but not rent. No, we just want rent until the government gives us more money.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, it's just, it's sad, but, you know, no, TSTC teamed up with North Texas Food Bank. And we served 578 people last Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's here in Ellis County. That's sad. Anyway, anybody have anything else? Anything else? I appreciate you guys being here. If we need to discuss anything else?
There's nothing else on the,
Personnel?
nothing else on
No,
the
I
agenda.
know, but we're good.
I think we're good unless
Okay.
y'all have anything, and like I said, if you'll send me emails with your thoughts and stuff like that, and then we'll bring it up for discussion at the next meeting. That way we can, if you ever have anything, the week before the meeting, I need anything that you have that you wanna add to the agenda for discussion. So that way we can put it on the official record and make sure that we're following the law.
So, entertain a motion.
Got, make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
All in favor?
Now, the
Well,
meetings
yeah,
are gonna be
well,
here